So I am going to be talking about Chris Action Man Curtis, and he was 1 second away from a potential victory. Because I honestly feel like if that went the decision, he could have won that. Maybe by a split, because Roman had his moments too. But if you look at those fighters and you see who was taking more damage, it feels like Roman Kopylov became the buzzer beater of the night. And it's good. I just think that he might be stepping stone. So if he wants to step up and fight someone like Joe Pyfer or Bo Nickel, it's not going to be good for him. You know, I feel like especially Cesar Almeida with his devastating knockout, whoever's on his dance card next, I am worried about, like, severely. But man, Chris Curtis, as an underdog on my opinion, on a lot of people's opinions, it seemed like he was going to have one of those last high notes at the end of his career, and potentially maybe even a re-sign. I don't know if that would have been the good thing for his health, but he seemed to have had it packing together. He showed up, showed his A game, but, you know, as that song goes, I did my best, but I guess my best wasn't good enough. And I feel bad for Chris Curtis. I authentically do. You know, his falling out with his friend Sean Strickland, all that stuff. I get it. His career is kind of dwindling right now while Sean is fighting for a title. I wanted to see him pull the upset and get the win, so I was devastated at the end of that round. 1 second left could have made the whole difference. But, you know, he'll be keeping his chin up. He's gained a following from his UFC career. What's going to be next for Roman? I think Cesar Almeida is probably going to be looking at him. That was a dangerous guy. What he did to, what's his name? I'm not going to butcher that. But that knockout was scary. I'm literally seeing Cesar Almeida versus Joe Pyfer would be a good fight, but Joe Pyfer is busy with Calvin Gastelum at the moment. So if Cesar wants to stay busy and Roman recovers from a lot of that damage and cuts that he's gone, Roman could potentially go against Cesar Almeida, but I think Cesar Almeida is going to make Roman look a little helpless because Roman Kopylov is good. You know, he's still got a little bit to offer the UFC, but he kind of has hit that thing where he looks more human than he's ever in a while. And with the damage he's taking, I think that the aura is going to dwindle even a little bit more. I'm going to be real. That's just my thing. I've seen that happen. Damage matters. But, man, for Chris Curtis, you know, UFC isn't everything. And I do believe, you know, no matter what your religious preference is, God, the universe, right, has a plan. Maybe it just wasn't in the plans anymore for Chris Curtis, and he needed to be saved from a potential fight where he was fighting someone like Cesar that was going to devastatingly finish him. That might be the best thing for him, because who knows? Sean Strickland could completely fall flat against Dricus du Plessis. There could be an upset. People forget Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski. Now, obviously, Alex stepped up on a week's notice to take that rematch, which was a mistake, while Sean Strickland has had a full camp. But Dricus du Plessis has figured him out, and then he beat Adesanya and finished him. So it's going to be one of those interesting fights where we'll see what happens. But I know Chris wanted one last hurrah, and it's like the most devastating fashion. This is probably, in my opinion, a little bit worse than Tony Ferguson versus Michael Chandler, where Tony got caught with that kick. Because what an insult. 1 second left, and you could have gotten that decision. And Chris Curtis, by any way on the off chance you watch this, whether you stay in the UFC, whether you continue to get another contract, whether you move on with your life and go to coaching, just know I will be supporting you. Some guy you don't even know exists is going to be just supporting you from afar. But, man, that would have been an upset story if Chris got his hand raised one last time. Maybe we'll see him back. Maybe I'm just riding the low note of his career right now vicariously, and I'm really feeling for the guy. But we'll see. But I think whatever plays out might play out for the best. But yeah, maybe Roman Kopylov versus Cesar Almeida might be a good, not interesting at all, sorry, but I think it might be the next step for Cesar's career because Cesar's seasoning himself, and I think he's not going to make the same mistake of leaping into the rankings, or he will. But I think the more he stays with non-ranked opponents, the more dangerous he's going to get. But that's all I got to say. Peace out. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.